Serbia ka filluar një rrugë tjetër paralele për ta destabilizuar Kosovën dhe për të krijuar më shumë kaos, thot në një intervistë për KosovaPress Nevenka Tromp, ligjëruese e studimeve për Evropën Lindore në Universitetin e Amsterdamit. Trump thot se Serbia asnjëherë nuk ka hequr dorë nga territori i Kosovës.
Serbia now has been starting another parallel way to destabilize Kosovo and to create more chaos in the way that some hard work of more than 10 years, say since 2008 onwards, has been derailed. And what I'm talking about is the fact that Kosovo Serbs did go to elections in the past. Kosovo Serbs did take part in executive power, and now that very hard work is challenged and maybe undone, and everything what is happening now simply destabilizes Kosovo achievements since 2008. And unfortunately, the fact that court has issued its first judgment, and the fact that Kosovo-Albanian side cooperated with the court and is supporting it still, despite its shortcomings, absolutely cannot compensate for many open political questions that Serbia every time puts on table. And why? Because Serbia never gave up the territory of Kosovo. And Serbia at least will try to use and abuse every political situation to request or demand at least Northern Kosovo and Association of Serb communities to be actually united with the Serbia proper.
Ekspertja e çështjeve të Ballkanit pohon se Kosova duhet të ekzistojë në kufijtë aktual shtetëror që posedon.
And we are at this very, very important crossroad, and it is difficult to see that after 2008 and period of some hope to stabilization, we are now back to fight the basics. Can Kosovo exist in its current state borders? Question obviously is it can and it should, but destabilization and creation of permanent instability will make recovery of Kosovo and Kosovo's path to EU more rocky than normally should have been the case.
Por, sipas saj, Serbia ka braktisur rrugën e përgjegjësisë.
One of the arguments to constitute the Kosovo specialist chambers, say before 2015, was that establishing such a legal structure that would deal with also crimes committed by Kosovo Liberation Army should actually be important element to this path of appeasing Serbia in, at certain stage, recognizing status of Kosovo as an independent state. And I think many of your politicians who were lobbying within Kosovo Parliament for constitution of this court, Kosovo Specialist Chambers in the Kingdom of Netherlands, had that political purpose in mind. We'll do everything that the international community asks from us because we want to show that we belong to civilizational world of developed democracies, and accountability and justice is part of it. And they did it because they wanted Serbia at certain point to have no arguments anymore to say, but Kosovo doesn't do this, Kosovo didn't do that. However, the court has been established. The first indictments have been issued, but Serbia has now totally, absolutely abandoned this path of accountability. It's enough now for Serbia that some prominent leaders of KLA are detained in The Hague, awaiting for a trial.
Gjykata speciale të premten ka shpallur aktgjykimin e parë për pretendimet për krime lufte dhe ish komandanti i UÇK-s Sali Mustafa u dënua me 26 vjet burgim.
There are many issues in this summary judgment, and yet again we have to see what will be following up. But first of all, I think what this judgment shows, Salih Mustafa's judgment or summary of the judgment shows to the world is that they again say, look, the victims, all 6 victims in Salih Mustafa's trial are Kosovo Albanians, those who were projected to be traitors or collaborators. And there are so far no Serbs victims. So they almost between the lines say, it's okay. It's really the court against Kosovo Albanian alleged perpetrators for the suffering of Kosovo Albanian victims, so-called perpetrators.
Ajo përmend disa nga problemet që sipas saj e kanë përcjellur këtë rast.
And one of the huge issues that I have when I read an indictment of Salih Mustafa, an indictment of other indictees so far, 5 of them still there, awaiting for a trial, is that if you read indictment and now summary judgment, you have no idea what sort of conflict it was. There is no contextualization why there was such a need for makeshift detention center in this area, Ajla area, because suddenly they say, and then Serb forces advanced, and they had to abandon the detention center, and they left behind one of the wounded detainees. But they don't understand in what sort of circumstances this was happening. And I think it is, if it's going to be repeated in the way presented now during the trial and in a judgment, we will be simply denied to understand the gravity of much bigger war and much bigger crimes happening in the same time. And it was a context of Serbian forces, military and police forces, being busy since 24th of March to conduct a huge sweeping up campaign, military campaign, actually to expel as many Kosovo Albanians from Kosovo in order actually to keep Kosovo under Serb control. Not one word of contextualization of the war we could read in indictment or in the evidence or in the summary judgment. And I think it is a huge shortcoming, and this is not how the law should function.
Edhe në seancën e shpalljes të aktgjykimit, trupi gjykues tha se gjykata nuk është kundër UÇK-s. Kryegjykatësja Mapje Veld Foglia tha se gjykata është krijuar nga populli i Kosovës përmes institucionit të kuvendit.
If you read the summary judgment, the presiding judge had to spend 2 or 3 paragraphs again confirming and telling to the outside world what is legality of legitimacy of the court. So basically what they're saying, we are the court that you people from Kosovo wanted, and you did it through your own parliament. And because you wanted it, we are doing this for you. We are your court. And then they say, we are not here to judge Kosovo Liberation Army, UÇK. We are not here to judge Kosovo people, because we are going to concentrate only on individuals. And then after that, they say, so whatever judgment is going to be, we had huge problems because witnesses were problematic because they get threatened all the time. So again, at the beginning already, the judges and the court finds all the reasons to cover themselves and to explain, actually, it's okay that we are here. We are going maybe to disappoint you, but we have the good foundation. So a court shouldn't be explaining itself. The court should act as the legal authority and deal only with the issues in front of it. And the issues in front of every court and judges is actually defendant. The most important person in this whole judgment should be Mr. Mustafa, because it's his life that is at stake and his rights and fairness of his trial that judges should be mostly concerned with, and not about their public image they will project, knowing actually that what follows at the end, the number of years in prison for Mr. Mustafa, might actually be met with a huge criticism in Kosovo. So this court and these judges are very much busy with themselves, an image of the court, and it distracts their attention from the defendant.